Hi everybody, it's Fun with Marge. Yes, back from our holidays. It was just a lot of travel, a lot of family, and a lot of fun. So tonight what we're going to do, and I know I'm late in getting this done. It's already dark here, wintertime fun. So what we're going to do is a classic garage card. And here's what it looks like. It's a little bit of a fun fold here with the classic car and the little key, and then you open it up to all geared up and you're a classic. So that's the card we're going to make tonight. Here is a list of your supplies. So the Classic Garage bundle includes the Geared Up Garage, which has your classic, which we're going to use here. It has You Jumpstart My Heart, which we're going to use there. It has the car, which we're going to use here, okay? And it comes with, well, the bundle comes with these dies, and you can see that you get an extra bunch of dies that you really don't have stamps for. This one makes an awesome one that I'll show you at a later date. Okay, the next thing that we're gonna use is Tranquil Tide paper, cardstock, and I'll give you the dimensions next. We're going to use the champagne foil, which I just love. It's kind of that off color between silver and the grunge that I think looks really good here. So I'll show you how to do that. We're going to use the a DSP that's called Classic Garage, and it's a 6x6 package that has all different kinds of images on them. There's an endless number of images that you can pull from, and so just to show a few. So just all depends on what you want to do, right? There's tire marks that come in really handy for another project I just thought about. Anyway, that's the Classic Garage 6x6 DSP paper that we're going to be using. And I kind of like this road map. I think it matches the, maybe you got a new car, or, use your imagination. Okay. And then we're also going to be using these metal elements. There are wrenches and keys in here, and I chose to use a key. Okay. Then of course, the Whisper White. We always need Whisper White, and crushed curry cardstock. So here's what the crushed curry looks like. Okay. You're also going to need a scrap of Whisper White and a scrap of the crushed curry to get the project done. Okay. So let's get started. Oh, well, here are your measurements. So you might want to take a screenshot of that, and then I'll give them to you again as we go through each piece. Okay? We're going to be using different types of glue in this as well, so let me point that out. The multi-liquid glue, because the foil, it sticks the best when you're using foil. We're going to use the snail adhesive, whatever brand you want to use, and of course I can sell it to you if you need it. Mini dimensionals and the regular size dimensionals, and the glue dots. Now I use my glue dots from my paper pumpkin supplies, so those little extra supplies come in handy. Okay, so what we're going to start with first is our base, and this base is 4.5 here, 8.5 this way, but instead of scoring at 4 1/4, you're going to score it at 5.5, okay, so that it comes out like this. Okay, and then what we're going to do is to take our crushed curry piece, which is 4 1/8 by 2 7/8, and we're going to adhere that to here. Okay, now adhering it to there, and it doesn't matter that I've got this up here, you'll see. It doesn't, you can use your snail adhesive to do this one, and that'll be strong enough if I could just use it right. I've been in a big hurry rush all day, and you know when you get in a rush like that, it doesn't bode well for getting things done right. Right? And so there's just 1/8 of an inch around, so line it up, stick it on. Okay, decide what direction you want this in. I think I kind of like it this way rather than this way because I want the red and the tranquil green, the tranquil tide to show. Get the glue off of there. Okay, and we can use our adhesive for this as well. Okay, and you'll see that's going to cover that right up so then I don't have to worry about it. Okay, so that part's done. So let's set this aside a minute and work on our 3 pieces of champagne. Now, in order to, you know, that champagne has got a shiny surface here, right? And so you don't want to use just any ink on it. You want something that's not going to smear. So I tried to use anything other than the StazOn, it's going to smear, okay? So it StazOn Jet Black. That's what I've got here. So we open it up. And within your stamp set, you have this little piece of grunge here. And so that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to use. And so you want a piece of scratch paper. I'll move my lid. Piece of scratch paper because you're going to stamp off once and then stamp on. Just like that. I like that change in the color there. Okay, you see. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do is to determine where our pieces go so that we don't muck it up, right? So if we look at our piece here, we know that we've got one for the car, which is that one. We have one for the inside, and then the other one that goes here, okay? So we need to keep that in mind because now we're going to do our sentiments because they're also in StazOn, okay? So the first one that we're going to do is You're a Classic. These, by the way, are the new cling stamps that Stampin' Up! Has come out with, which so far has been just a great idea. You don't have to worry about them coming off of the block. You need to be a little more careful when you're picking them up out of your out of here because they cling to here too. So, you know, you want to make sure you've got the whole thing and pull it up. And it really stays where it's supposed to stay. So it's looking like a really nice product. Okay. We're going to need our little scrap because we're going to put the little sentiment on there for You Jumpstart My Heart. And I'm hoping that everybody can see what I'm doing. Okay, And then we'll set that aside. The other thing that we're going to do is to put the sentiment in there that says geared to celebrate. All geared up to celebrate. Which, wonderful thing that I have clear blocks, right? And about right there. Okay. So we've got that done. So now we're going to work on our little car. I'm going to take our little piece of Whisper White and our stamp, and we're done for now with this. What I want to do with the car is to put it in gray granite. Okay. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I have crushed curry, basic black, and gray granite that I'm going to be using on this part of it. We'll close this up for now. Okay, so I'm going to take the crushed curry, the large end of it, and I'm going to color in my car. I like crushed curry. Okay. Now that we have that done, we're going to cut it out using the car die, which is this one, right? And I just used a piece of styrofoam that I picked up at one of the craft stores to work it on, but it works really well for getting those pieces out. Okay, so that's done. Oops. Okay, so we'll put this aside. Bring our little piece here. Okay, and we need to make sure that we're doing it right. So here's what it looks like. So now we're going to adhere it to our smaller piece of Tranquil Tide, which is 1 1/4 by 4. Okay. And you remember that we're going to do that with the multi-purpose glue. And you remember that there's only about an 1/8, well no, I think I made this one bigger. Yeah, there's about 1/4 of an inch difference. One of the things about the multi-purpose glue is that you don't have to be as careful as you are with the because you see it'll let you slide it around for a little while and then it like says, okay, you're done. Move on. Okay, so there's our piece. Okay, so now we're going to take our dimensionals, the big ones. If I can just pick them up. I'm having those kind of problems tonight. It's like, it's been the whole day of it. Pick something up, drop it in the floor. You know, papers go everywhere. Okay, so if you remember our little card here, set it out here so we can see it. We're going to take the backs off the dimensionals, of course. And we're going to line it up like this. Okay. Then what we're going to do is adhere it to our card. Well, we'll put that aside for now. Let's put these on. Okay, so we're going to use our multi-purpose glue. And adhere that, and I want to just set something on it for a minute while it dries. And then our bigger piece. Scared myself there. I thought it was upside down. Well, just let that set just a minute. Okay. Now, what we want to do is put the top on our glue before we muck that up. We're going to put these pieces together. We're going to put 2 dimensionals on the back of this. And then we're going to put 2 minis on the back of this. Is that the back? Oh, that's the back. See what I mean? I mean, it's just been a day long of making really bad mistakes. So, all right, they should be done now. Okay, so in our card, this is going to go up here. So we're going to take the backs off of all of them. Because this little piece is just a little bit smaller than the bubble. So we're going to line that up and then stick it on the card. Interesting, I have to feel that to make sure it's off. So here's what you do, is that you carefully line it up in your hand, and then you lay it out on the card. Okay? So now on the outside, we're going to take this and we're going to put our liquid glue in the first quarter of this. Line it up. So you want it so that you've got some at the bottom here, and you're not overshadowing this. So, and then we want to put our key on. Oh, that was good. See what I mean? It's been a whole day of that. It's just been so much fun. So this is where my little glue dots come in, and as I said, I use the ones from my paper pumpkin kits. It's a good use of the extra supplies that are in the paper pumpkin, and I love the paper pumpkin kits. So if you want to look at those and you want something that just, you know, it's all inclusive, so you don't need any extra supplies whatsoever, let me know and I'll get you started on paper pumpkin. And here's our card. So here's both of them. And we're done. Okay, so I have started another class that it's a private class for new and casual crafters. It's being held on Thursdays and Sundays at 4 p.m. There is a cost, and the cost to you is the cost of the supplies that you'll be using. So in order to, if I were doing this, in order to attend the class, the cost would be the cost of this, obviously, because you'll need both the dies and the stamps. And it would be maybe the DSP and whatever paper, you know, the rest of it that you get on your own. And so the cost is really minimal, and the classes are free. But you don't get into the classes unless you buy your supplies first before you get started. And that gives you 6 months actually of entrance into the private group. So if you want more information on that, let me know. I'd be glad to give it to you. So until next Friday, I hope everyone has a wonderful week. Bye-bye.